from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. AARON. Bar! Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was on camera. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just doing my, my quick meditations and my worship thing with my spatula and this. And I'm not sure how to incorporate the. I know there was an order down from the high priestess. Per order of AARON, our great leader. I'm not sure. I know I'm not supposed to wear it because I'm not a high priestess. I'm not sure. I tried putting it on my ear, and I'm not. It won't. It keeps falling off. What else did you said? An amulet. I don't have a string for that. Okay, let me figure this out. I have to do this because in order to be a really good follower. Okay. All right. Excuse me. Okay. How's that? Just trying to make sure. Does that work? All right. Hi, everybody. All right. This is a little distracting. Anyways. I don't even have any room in there. Hi, everybody. All right. Let me compose myself. If you can't laugh, right? Some of this stuff is not a flip-flop bra. Blakey, go to work. Pillowcase tech. I think it was a pillowcase, right? And this is a golden pillowcase. It's silky. I thought that was good. Hey guys. Wow, here we are. I'm gonna have to make some space. I'll have to because I'm going to have my hubby come in for a few minutes. In a few minutes, for a few minutes, because I'd like to have a man's point of view. And I know there's some guys in the chat too. And of course, us women, So I read Stephanie's blog. I watched that video over and over and over. I watched Poe's stream. I watched Rabbit's stream, and also another creator that isn't part of SPTV. It had a slightly, not completely different take on the video, but you might notice in the what do you call it, thumbnail, I put that really famous picture of those three dresses that were all the same dress, and depending on how your brain works, how you perceive color, it was a different color. And I think I saw it as gold, but then other people saw it as blue. Other people saw it as dark gold. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, this is slightly different because we're talking about looking at, a scene that happened and how you perceive things as far as your own perspective and where you come from, So, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened there. I had my phone on. So I looked up, see if I can find it. I thought it was really interesting. So I looked up, and on Google about like how do people perceive things differently? How can they watch something and see a totally different thing? And it can be called like a phenomenon, but you also have a little bit of bias sometimes. It could be based on your own. We talked about perception a few weeks ago, and it could be based on your own opinion, your own experiences, some past experiences, whether or not you like the people that are involved in what you're watching. So I really tried to put that aside, and I really tried to watch it from a different perspective. And I yeah, I can see both sides of this story, of this side, but at the same time, when you walk through it and look at it, someone in the comments yesterday in my community page was like, said to me, um, Marilyn, what if it was your daughter? I mean, of course, they didn't say that because it was actually written, but you would be really, enraged, and you know it. You know it. So, like, I don't know who this person is, like, fluffy peanut butter person. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their name was, but I can't remember. But how do they know? Like, when you tell somebody and say, and you know it, that's that's not nice. So I thought about it. I was like, well, if we want to hit below the belt and talk about my daughter, what if that was my daughter in that video? Lunging at a man, grabbing his neck, clearly getting pushed and flung and left there. Yeah, that didn't seem very nice. But knowing the circumstances, um, I think I would say to my daughter, like, what were you doing? You know? And let me tell you something right now. Anybody that's met my daughter, Kelly Copter's met my daughter. I think she could kick. I think she might be able to kick AARON's ass. Just saying. He'd be the one on the ground. No, just kidding. Maybe. No, in all reality, in all seriousness, with my kids, they do something stupid, I tell them. I call them out on it. I'd be like, "What are you messing with? What were you doing?" You know? And the fact that, okay, if she had a terrible head injury, why did she get up and run towards him? Why didn't she run away from him? Why didn't she run for help? You know? To me, it's clear in that video. And I'm gonna play a little bit of Rabbit's stream last night, and in case you haven't seen it, and she goes through the video. Of course, it's her commentary, which I happen to agree with. You might not agree with what she's seeing, but it's pretty much what I saw. There were a little bit differences that I'll point out, but also she was the creator that had Aaron on her channel to tell the story months ago, and I gotta say, he's got a pretty good memory because this had happened in last May, and I can't remember when her interview with him was, but it was this year sometime. So I have our lovely mod, Stay Spiria, in the backstage. I'm trying to give my other helpers a break. Nancy Alley's been so amazing, and Kelly Copter helps me sometimes. So thank you so much, Stay Spiria. Appreciate it. So I am going to I'm gonna pull up Rabbit's video, play a couple of clips, and then I really want to get your input on it. So, all right, let's do this. Let me know if you can hear it okay. I'm trying to look at the volume here. All right.
Watch it again. Okay. See, let me stop right here. That's Aaron and that's Juliana next to him. Aaron and Juliana, y'all see my mouse? Y'all see my man? Everybody sees it, all right? Okay. Let's keep watching. She's grabbing his face and grabbing him, still trying to grab him on, right? Grabbing a hold of him, his arm, and he's got like a bag in his hand or something. And she's still trying to like pull his arm. You'll see he like turns around and she's right behind him. See that? And he's trying to let her go, right? Like he's like let go of me. And then he ducks her again, pushes her exactly out of the way. She's not taking no. She's going back to his head, to his neck area, trying to get a hold of him. Okay. And she grabs him and tries to get him from like the back. Y'all see that, right? He does this like push pull out with his foot. And she lands and he keeps walking. He keeps walking. You can see the back of his head right there. He keeps walking. She's still on the floor. Her feet, she gets up. Y'all see that? And then what she do? She starts running. She's running. She is running after him. That's what it was. I said, well, if Aaron was lying, shit, let's go back to the video. We got to expose Aaron if he's doing bullshit. Like, you're not going to, take one up on me. You're not going to do anything. If you go to the 23-minute video, this is the video. It's in the description box.
Okay, so I'm going to skip some of this just for the sake of time. Let me minimize this for a minute. And I give Rabbit props for saying, hey, I'm going to go back and look at the interview that we did and see if this corroborates his story. You don't run after someone hurting you. Right. Yeah. Why didn't she run the opposite direction? Why didn't she ask for help? She was running at him. And she came back for more. So, and it's clear from that video, to me at least. I don't know what people are seeing. Maybe they see a blue dress and I see a gold dress, but I do see that he did fling her. I mean, he did, and he did walk away. And guess what? He admits it. He said he walked away. If you heard his testimony of how it led up to that, the thing in the hotel room with the foot and the video of her trying to take a video of him and saying things like, one of us has to be unalived and try to choke him. I mean, obviously he's a big guy, right? But some of the people that are saying this poor helpless lady are also people that would say that, men can be abused too, which I think anyone would say that men can be abused too. And because he can't fight back because he's this big burly guy, he just had to take it, right? So he was trying to get away. Obviously, he was trying to get away. If the roles were reversed, if a guy was trying to force me to kiss him or force my daughter to kiss him and then jumped on her, right? And she managed to fling him against the wall and he got a head injury, she'd be a hero. It would be like, yeah, good for him. Good for him. Would you expect her to say, oh, she didn't check and see if he was okay. Oh, what a monster. No. So what's the deal? And I want to say too, as for the trolls and people that hate Aaron or hate me or whatever, saying that the women of SPTV are bowing down to Aaron and enabling him to be an abuser. Well, pot or kettle. You're allowing this woman to be a perpetrator. She was obviously lunging at him and trying to attack him. So I don't know what people are seeing, but I'm just saying what I saw. So, as far as this video being the smoking gun that's going to bring Aaron down, I thank Sister Stephanie. I want to thank you. And if you're a member in the chat, please give Sister Stephanie some props. There's a special emoji for Sister Stephanie. And thank you. Thank you for bringing that video to our attention because it really does make sense to me. And just for reference, I want to fast forward this and go back and watch it. I've got Rabbit's link in the description of this video. So Rabbit, I hope you don't mind. I'm using this as fair use and I appreciate you letting me do this. All right. So I want to read this super chat that she got from Bernie J. Thank you for calling out Aaron on this. She tries to hug him after spending the night together, and he brutally throws her. Aaron admits the fall was really bad, but he walks off. He cries for himself. So she tries to hug him. Now, putting your hands on somebody when they don't want you, even if she was trying to hug him or kiss him or keep him there or whatever, after they spent the night together, hey, what happens behind closed doors? That's not my business. I don't care. I honestly don't care. And I wouldn't be talking about this if this video wasn't, from like broad daylight. This was in public. So I'm commenting on this video alone. So I've never commented on any of the women that have come out. Well, there's only been 2, but that have come out and talked. I've never said anything about them. I've never said their name. I've never commented on their videos or video or anything, right? But this happened in broad daylight. So I feel like, I'm going to talk about it because people are talking about it, and I had some questions about what I thought about it. So sorry, I'm blurry. There we go. And I'm going to bring my hubby in soon. So let me play a little bit of this. Oh, whoops, sorry. I got to pull it up first. Sorry. There we go.
Wow.
Did
Oh
we see
my
that?
goodness.
There's a lot of people
Okay.
there.
She goes, "Oh, am I really never going to see you again? Am I really never going to see you again? Please, I just want one last kiss, one last hug. Is this really the last time I'm going to see you again?" And I'm just like, "Stay away, stay away, stay away." As the Uber is pulling up, she goes, "Just give me one last kiss." And she jumps on me and puts her arms around my neck. Like, if I recall correctly, she's sort of behind me here, right? And
Behind.
she's got her arms wrapped around my neck. She's basically hanging off of me. Okay. I grab her wrist and I go like this to get her off of me. And she pulls like one of these LeBron James flops. Uh-oh, did we freeze? Are we good? Can you see me?
Yeah, your
Did we
internet's
freeze?
going in and out. I can see you, Aaron. Can you see me?
Okay. I can see you. It just looked
Okay.
like I was glitching for a bit.
You were
Okay.
glitching for a minute.
So all I did was pull, which is, I mean, she's a small person, so she's a small wrist. So, and it was probably made worse by the fact that she probably was not supporting all of her weight on her own feet because she's kind of hanging from me. Okay.
Right, right.
So I grab her wrist and I pull it off of my neck, and she does, oh, and falls into the building that we're standing next to, which was the CVS that we were just in.
Oh my
Now, this
goodness.
is one of those, downtown LA buildings, like everything's like sharp edges and marble or granite or whatever. And she falls and she stumbles and she falls into the building. And I see her head hit one of the corners of this building.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Where's the denial there? That's exactly what happened. He did the LeBron flop. Thank you. The LeBron flop. That's what it's called. That's what he did. Did we see that? So I'm saying if this video was supposed to somehow, and let me tell you, let me be very clear. I'm only speaking on this specific incident. I'm not speaking on anything else. I'm talking about this incident because my channel interviewed Aaron, right? And so if he said something or lied about something, do you honestly think I'm not going to come up here with the same energy that I had to drag him, expose him, do what I have to do? Exactly that. That's exactly what I would do. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go live on this footage and talk about it and actually match up what he said to the CCTV, this supposed CCTV. Baby Bunny's got some lungs on her. Sorry, y'all.
Back to the hotel.
Okay.
I hear her start.
Okay. I just
Back
want
to
to
the
get this part.
hotel.
All right.
I hear her start screaming my name. And I look back and she is up and running after me.
Did she not run
screaming
after
my
him?
name on the sidewalks of downtown LA.
Did she not run after him? Let me know. Because I saw her get up. Somebody who hit their heads, instead of slowing down a little bit and saying, you know what? I've been injured. I need to call 911. Somebody needs to check on me. No, she runs after him. That's what she did.
On a Thursday morning with the sun shining.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. But honestly, I was kind of shocked at how accurate Aaron was because I was like, wow, he's got a really good memory, Yeah, I think that I don't know what the LeBron flop is. He did fling her with force. I mean, I saw her pretty much like fly against the wall. Yeah, but hey, he was trying to get her off and she was clearly on his back. You could see her hanging, her feet were hanging. You could see her leg, and she was like, you could almost not see him at that point. So that's what I saw. And I saw her get up and run towards him. So anyone that wants to say that didn't happen, I don't know, blue dress or gold. In a jury, what you think they would think? If you were sitting on a jury and you didn't know them, it's hard because maybe we are a little bit biased, and people are saying that he was the attacker and he just left her there on the street to bleed out or something. Come on, guys, please. If she was that injured, she would have asked for help. She wouldn't have run after him. So I see I have the LeBron flop is where you dramatically make yourself fall worse than the situation would have naturally made you fall. Okay. That's what I kind of figured, but I was in a cult for a lot of years, so I have a total like block as far as a lot of pop culture goes. So, and even after that, I really didn't, and I wasn't even in the cult when the LeBron flop happened, I'm sure. But okay, if my hubby is listening, I'm going to have him come in, and I'll go through a couple of, wow, we already got a lot of starred questions and comments. And so while he's coming in, I'll do a few, and then, just put question or comment for Stay Spiria for us. Hey, Blakey, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. And he is one of our new fabulous mods. It's the fact that his enemies literally did a side-by-side like Rabbit did, and they're still saying he's lying. Like, bruh, they are so dumb for real. Well, yeah, I think that they're skipping over the fact that she was laying there for a few seconds, but she also, what do you got? What the fuck? Let me move over. Oh, you're the big bad.
Salutations, fellow Aaronites.
You're the big bad wolf.
I represent the ancient and honorable order of the wolf in SPTV, and we do give credence to AARON. Very well, and greetings once again. I'm here because Marilyn requested that I might do a little mansplaining this morning.
Oh yeah, we need a mansplaining.
Indeed.
You're so silly.
Oh, not me. Not me.
See why we get along so well, guys. Love you.
Love you. Okay, so this thing's very hot. I only had to wear it for the ceremonial purposes of making an entrance. That said, we can get serious about.
Yes, serious about a new cub. Andrew Wise, thank you so much for joining. We got to do a seal clap here, honey.
Okay, indeed.
You got to like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too well practiced.
We'll practice later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andra. Okay, so you watched that video with me, and what did you think?
So yeah, I was gonna throw in my 2 cents because we watched Poe for a bit and saw his take on things,
Over here.
and then when we began to watch Rabbit's live, then we began to realize that she'd gone into a good bit of detail, and pulling those videos in and zooming them up did really show that what Aaron said appeared to be very true. And I think that helped his case, because when we watched that and figured out, we don't know the origin of that video, it was a little bit suspect, but only in a sense of who took it. Why they sat on it for so long was a big mystery, and it said CVS up in the corner. So we're like, how could that be? It was of an event occurring in front of CVS, but didn't appear to be taken from a camera that would have been
Across the
near
street.
a part of the CVS.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, and it was interesting that 2 cop cars went by during that event, the second one right when it was happening, and they didn't notice. If they did, they just continued to go and ignore it. But what to me was the most vindicating thing for AARON is it was obvious he was being attacked. He was not the aggressor. And then when she apparently was flung to the pavement there and got hurt, she immediately jumped up and sprinted after him. and he was simply trying to get away from her. So it was quite obvious she was the aggressor from the beginning to the end. And he, during the testimony that he gave on his video, you could see he was quite emotionally distraught over the fact that he knew that this could ruin him if it got out in the wrong context, because, you know, we know Scientology and the fair gamers would have taken great advantage of it to make him look terrible, that he was throwing this woman half his size to the ground, which, you know, would be ordinarily an absolutely terrible thing. But being that he was simply trying to escape from her and get away from her, the video gave evidence that that's what appeared to be what happened. So again, you know, that can't possibly be used against him by any reasonable person. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, being a man, what do you think about that? Like, if a woman was doing that to you?
I mean, the thing is, for a guy, you know full well that you can't touch a woman without it. And people talk about equality of the genders and all this kind of nonsense. That goes right out the window when there's a physical altercation. And especially if a guy is a lot bigger, because it's obvious that he could do damage if he wanted to. But it was clear to me he made no effort to do damage. And her ending up on the pavement there looked like a result of her leaping up on his back. So her feet were off the ground. He was simply trying to get away from her and flung her off, or attempted to get away from her by spinning around or doing one of these evasive moves they might do in football or something. And she sailed off and banged herself up. But clearly when she leapt up and ran after him, she wasn't a helpless victim just laying on the ground. And, you know, in LA there, you know, other people didn't want to get too involved, but the fact she was able to sprint after him to continue the pursuit was obvious, you know, made it obvious that she was the aggressor. He simply, as a guy, was thinking, oh my God, I got to get out of this. I got to minimize this. This is not going to look good, even if I didn't do anything. You know, if a woman ran up and just body slammed the guy and got hurt, people would try to make it look like his fault, even though he had nothing to do with it. So, you know, so I think when he had given his testimony, what had happened before, he was right on the money. That video, he probably had no idea it even existed, and it simply corroborates what he said. So,
well, Jeffrey Augustine did ask the CVS for the video. They wouldn't give it because they didn't have a subpoena or anything like that. But this video is clearly from across the street, and there was footage that I think was real time. I forgot what that's called, but the street footage that Rabbit showed last night. And there was a kind of a two-tone building. It was like brick on top, and it looked like that was kind of the angle of where the video was
that was
taken.
Interesting that she could pull up the footage from those public cameras. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like a Google Earth thing, probably. I mean, you can see our house.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you can get on. Yeah, and it's been, who knows, you know, probably people driving by with cameras on their cars.
Oh, they'd fall in the creek, though. There's no here. Osa doesn't want to come here. They wouldn't even find us.
Yeah, they wouldn't waste time with us. We're small timers, you know.
Yeah.
And we hide out in the woods.
I wanted to have your input because I'm like, is it just because I'm, you know, I'm biased? Because I mean, you've never really talked to Aaron much. Not like you're, you know, an Aaronite, although you are, because you have that wolf costume.
Well, yeah.
The Order of the Wolves. That's
right. Yeah, it's a secret fraternal order that not many know about.
I know. I don't even know about that.
Yeah.
But
as a guy, though, I can understand the emotional, like the realization of people. I mean, nowadays with social media and everything, we see people canceled every day. All you've got to do is appear to have done something bad. And being a guy puts you in a category like if you do anything to hurt anybody, you know, because you would appear to be physically capable of doing so, you're going to get taken down so fast. And to give, we know how OSA operates and how the fair gaming works. So they're obviously grasping at straws. There's trolls in the chats that are putting out things to try to make it look like it was his fault, which is absurd. So some of them, I mean, we were watching the other night, and you see some that are obviously sarcastic. But then there's others, I think people actually trying to make Aaron look bad, like he had done something, which it's quite obvious at this point that didn't happen. So thank you, whoever came up with that video and put it out there. Thank you. You did.
Sister Stephanie.
Yeah, Sister Stephanie. Thank you. You did him a favor.
Stephanie.
Yeah. So
she has her own special emoji today.
Yeah, and I did want to say too is
I do have a question for you when you're done with that, honey.
Sure.
It's a little off topic, but I think it's a good question.
Yeah, I was just going to throw out there too is like the fundraiser was obvious evidence of the success of SPTV banding together. And that's one thing we do as SPTV is we band together, we support each other. And that's one big problem, big place where I think the Aftermath Foundation has really stumbled is they're used to fighting and being, opposing everybody and tearing people down. So they're on a negative path in general, trying to tear down SPTV. That doesn't build up anything, and that's not a uniting force. It's a dividing force. So the fact that, SPTV could get together and have as many people as were on screen and raise that much money, it's a testimony that, we're on the right track, and there's, it's a good thing. So.
Thank you.
Okay, now shut up and you can.
No, don't shut up. I have a question for you.
Engage the audience a little bit.
Somebody has a question for you about Chris 7514. Question for your husband. Sir, were you also in Scientology in Escape? Neither of us were in Scientology, but if you want to give the quick run.
If I can,
rundown.
I'll try to do a 2-minute. We weren't in Scientology, but we were in a cult, and all cults basically operate by the same playbook. So our cult was sort of a warped extreme Christian cult that was very legalistic and very negative in orientation, in the sense it was always trying to, make yourself perfect and crucify yourself, and kind of always not, branching out and engaging the world. It was more like we're the people that are set aside, hiding in the woods and sort of creating our own little cult where we're the only ones that have the truth, and da 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 da. So it had, and we did literally have to escape by way of abandoning the family and the society that we had joined into, where what it does is it isolated us. It was a very cloistered up, isolated kind of group. So when we went to leave the group, it was like leaving Scientology, in the way that you had to literally just drop everything, cut off your relationships with everybody. We got rejected, literally just, cast out and told we were the bad people. We were the infection.
Mm-hmm.
We were the evil people that were going to be judged. We were going to wind up on the dung heap along with
the
our
dung
kids.
heap. That's where the dung heap came from, guys.
So that's where that came from. So anyway, not Scientology, but another cult that had a lot of characteristics. So
Right,
most
and we
cults do,
like, there's no like support group for X-Door of Hopers, because it was so small, and a lot of us that left, we kind of scattered. It was like, I think we were so traumatized. Like,
we never realized how horrendous. Like, you literally get super invested. We'd given time, we'd given money, we'd abandoned, family and friends for the most part. So we were part of the small, isolated group that had the truth, the world. Like, there was always this talk, like, and it's sort of probably like extreme Christianity, where the world is evil and we're the people that have the truth, and we're ambassadors for God type of thing. And, you get pumped up with the idea that you have it, but that turns you into a judgmental, critical, gossiping type of people over time. You just think you're better and you have it, and you don't trust the outside world. And now we're like, we left, and it took years to re-engage the actual outside world, find out it was far better than being in the damn cult.
I know. I think being in this community has helped us a lot.
It has. Now we have friends.
Because we can really relate. You can't just go in the grocery store and be like, I escaped a cult.
No.
Like, nobody understands.
Kind of true. So we share something in common here,
Yeah. All right. Thank you, honey.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I'll let you get
Love
back to
you.
your business.
Thank you. I got 42 things waiting. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna run up and look up my project.
Okay. We'll take lots of video, because
I'll do that.
We're gonna show you guys how to build a house.
I'm documenting this build. It's quite fascinating already.
Microphone.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
So
love you.
good seeing you folks.
Thanks,
and
honey.
I'll check in again later.
Thank you. Bring your wolf head, or I'll bring it in later.
It's a little hot. I'm not going to leave that though.
No. Oh, blurry again.
Take care, y'all.
Thank you, honey. Thanks for the coffee too. Why don't we do a Xenu Marlene? Let's do a little Xenu Marlene interlude here. I think that would be great. Everybody partake whatever you have. If you got a morning donut or an afternoon scone or water or tea, or I have coffee today. Cheers. All right. So we got a lot of starred questions. So I will try to get to as many as I can. And thank you all for all of your input. Appreciate it. I'll unstart a few things. Farrell, Cheryl, Duncan. That's right. Hi there, honey. If you haven't seen the beginning, you should roll it back. Roll it back. You got to see the beginning. Is that I'm doing my best to try to be a good Arontology member, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, okay. Thank you all for being here, and I'll try to get to as many questions and comments as I can. Chris P. All you really need to know is the Mike Rinder, Claire Headley, Mark Headley, et al. Have involved themselves equals OSA 2.0. Well, I hear you. You can see some similarities. Anna, am I the only one tired of the nonsense of these people? No, I don't think so. People chose who they were going to support a long time ago. Why continue to disturb? Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think that, I thought about some things like maybe I could release the entire mother load of emails I got from Mike Rinder, but you know what? I'm not going to. You know why? Because I think people have already made up their minds, and I'm not gonna, I don't think you can convince those people of anything. I really don't think you can. So yeah, it is what it is at this point. Ison, perfect comparison to the dress color discussion. I was in the chat of Rabbit's Live last night and was appalled at what some seem to see there. Yeah, I hear you. George. Oh, George. Hi, oh, George. Another major flunk from the Baby Koala fan club. They are desperate. The big gotcha turned out to prove the opposite. Aaron explained everything that happened, and now we see the video to validate him. Yeah, I mean, that's what I see. I mean, other people can disagree. It's fine, but I think the major things were that you can clearly see she's jumped on his back. And yeah, he flung her. I mean, it was with a lot of force. I sometimes like Duncan, he used to really work out. He's never been a giant guy or anything, but he was really, really muscular. Sometimes just even when he takes my hand, I'm like, ow, and plus I have fibromyalgia. So it does hurt more than most, but he sometimes doesn't know his own strength. So not making excuses, but hey, he needs to get away from that woman. That's all I have to say about that. And she ran after him. So she jumped on his back and then she ran after him. So that's what I see in that video. Freezy New Project. Hey there, friend. Great to see you. Oh, Farsec. Morning, Marilyn. Thank you so much for the support. Absolutely. You're very welcome. And thank you for being part of this community. You've been here since I can remember, and you've been such a great supporter of this whole cause. And now you're in the streets of Chicago protesting, and I'm happy to support you. You definitely deserve it. Uh-oh. Oh, look, the other wild and crazy guy is here. Is that Blakey? Yep. Now we are two wild and crazy guys. So from SNL, wild and crazy guys. Who was that? That was Steve Martin and was it Dan Aykroyd? That's hilarious. Those were the days. Blake Reed, y'all remember to subscribe and smash that big, beautiful thumbs up button. In AARON's holy name, I command thee. That's right. I'll have to do an emoji for that because I do have a Xenu in Xenu's name. But oh, thank you, Anna. You are a beautiful cult follower. That flip flop looks good on you. Thank you. I didn't know where to put it. I mean, I had to do both. I gotta ask the high priestess, Pharaoh Cheryl, do I have to have both of them? Because I'll have to try to overlap them. Might need a bigger boat here. I don't know, man. Freezy New Project question. I wonder if I can use a bong and knife if I don't have a bowl and a spatula. Well, I was gonna say you do you, but no, you got to ask permission. You got to submit an application, I guess. Yeah. Clearwater Chad. All I see is an innocent man. So Clearwater Chad said so, but don't take our word for it. Look for yourself. Yeah. Joe from Great Britain, I think that is. It's not Jay who's completely in the wrong. She has mental health issues. It's the rest of the haters who have taken advantage of the situation and spun their own narrative. Yeah, I hear you. I think that in this case and some other cases that we've seen with people associated with AARON in the past, yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right that people have taken advantage of them and used them to try to bring AARON down. I agree, and I don't put all the blame on her. Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you. But first coffee, Susie Overholtz. Hi there, friend. I'd say the same to my daughters. I'd support them, but not condone bad behavior. Right. Yep. Yeah. And I would absolutely, you're right. I mean, I always tell my kids, no matter what, always, you can always call me. I don't care if you have to call me from jail, which knock on wood, they never have. But yeah, but I'm not going to condone bad behavior. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what I have to say to that question of someone trying to bring my daughter into this is if she did that, I'd be like, what are you doing? Not good. But of course, I would have brought her to the hospital and had them, take care of her wound, and definitely wouldn't condone her behaving like she would have did afterwards either. So yeah. Brenda, my opinion of AARON remains pretty much the same. I see him as someone who made some pretty poor choices, but remain a fan. Don't buy he's a monster, no matter how much they try to convince us. Yes. And AARON said that himself, that, he's done messed up, and I think he's learned his lesson, and, that's up to him. Whatever he does is up to him in his personal life. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that, he has made some poor choices, and he knows it, and he owns it. And even in telling the story, he said what he had done that was bad, and it's up to him what he does in his personal life. And he told, I think, pretty much what happened, that he did leave her there, but he was trying to get away, and he did know that she hit her head on the wall. But again, if it's someone assaulting you, are you going to see if they're okay? No, you just need to get away, And if that was a woman, I think she would have been a hero. So that's just my opinion. All right. Okay, Ison. Comment. I endured DV in my 15-year marriage, and my childhood was not nice either. I'm the last person to defend an abuser. Saying that AARON is not the aggressor in this video. Juliana is. Yeah. I tend to agree with that. I do. Susie says, once I enjoyed the mansplaining. Oh boy. I don't mind it either. I love my husband to pieces, but he knows I have to have at least a cup of coffee in me. And I got to wake up for a little while before I get the mansplainations. So one sec, guys. I'm just going to get some water. I should have said, please stand by for a sip of water, and not to our friend Doug. Dr. MLS question. Do you know if it is true that Vermont has the most micro cults of any state in the US? Per capita, I would not be surprised. I think that Vermont, Oregon, and I can't remember what the other, maybe Colorado, are the 3 states that seem to have the most micro cults, and that's a good way to put it. In this area, I didn't know this until fairly recently, that there was a community called the Renaissance Commune. And there's a friend I've made in this space. Her name's Jane, and she was part of that. And she gave me a video. It's a documentary. I can't believe I've never heard of this cult. It was going on 2 towns over as I was growing up, and it is wild. I mean, it's got all the Jonestown stuff except for the Kool-Aid. Honestly, it's just nuts. And I will at some point do a study on it, stream on it, and then maybe even have my friend Jane come and talk to us about it. So it is wild. But yes, I think it's probably up there in definitely the top 5 or 10. That's for sure, as far as states that have the most micro cults. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna Read these first. Enchanted Warrior comment. I'm late to the live. Well, that's okay. Welcome. That kilt guy is mega suspect. He watches them even as he's crossing the road and then runs back, stops and watches as she runs off. It's not normal. Yeah, he looked like he kind of ran by her. It wasn't like he was trying to help her at all. So, yeah, that was strange. That was very strange. Francesca, hey there. Aaron has the same right to self-defense. From my point of view, when the woman climbed on his back, he seemed to use her own momentum and force to shake her off. Yeah. It's hard. It really is hard to tell from that far away, but I don't believe for 1 minute that he was trying to hurt her. He was trying to just get her off of him. And he is a big, strong guy. So what we would just be like, consider just emotion, maybe, being as tiny as she was and as flinging around as she was and dramatic and upset as she was and all the adrenaline and all that. Yeah, I think that maybe she did do that LeBron thing. Now I got to look that up and see what that's about. So Gina, the Uber was there. She should have just gotten into the car. Yeah. And said, bring me to the hospital. Right. Or to the police station, either one, and I don't want to give I don't want to give Sister Stephanie's, I don't want to give her, not to pick on Catholics, but, I don't want to give her, blog any, oxygen, but her take on it was just, what? Like, did you watch the same video? She obviously has a horrible hatred and obsession with Aaron. And honestly, I have no animosity toward, just like that commenter said, is that they don't completely blame her. I do have some compassion on her. She obviously has some issues, and I'm not saying, oh, she's crazy. It's just a thing. Like, as a fellow woman, I am very inclined to first believe the woman, but her behavior has been so erratic and completely, uh, different than what you would consider normal, that I don't know. I can't defend her because I see it in black and white. I see it on video here. And I do want to thank Sister Stephanie for sharing that video with us because it confirms what I already, saw. So Mama's life, I would have yelled at my daughter if she ever did that to a man. What the fuck? Right. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like I said. Fluffer UK. Hey, Fluffer Squirrel UK. Good to see you. If someone grabs you and tries to kiss you against your will, is that? Yes, I would think so. Attempted SA and getting them off of you, not self-defense. I'm happy this came to light. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Sister Stephanie. Thank you very much. Yeah. Appreciate it. And yeah, you're right. If a guy was coming at me trying to kiss me, I'd be like, I would yell the R word probably, like, what the heck? On a busy street? Oh my God, that's insane. That's insane. Question, Mike, hi Anna. Mike Render sent you an email a while ago to discredit Aaron. Was this episode part of it? Yes. Yes, it was. And Render actually called her crazy in the email. So, yep. Yep. I'm saying I'm not planning on releasing those, but I'm not saying I never, ever, ever will either. So, Lindy's 61. Aaron's regulation was pretty well spot on. Yeah. Sophia says that's a restrained response of a trained fighter to physical harassment. That's a good point. Good point. James Smith, hi there, welcome. I showed the video to my sister-in-law who has managed women's transition houses for 30 plus years, a nonprofit temp safe housing for abused women and children. She said Aaron is clearly being abused. All right, yeah. And she's totally neutral. So that's a good point. And she has some experience. So Susie Oberholtz, I laugh about the cop driving on by. Sad, but yeah. Yep. If there was a major assault on a woman being, in progress, don't you think he would have stopped? James Smith, a man in a kilt ran to help her, but she took off after Aaron. There was help available to her clearly. She was only interested in hurting Aaron. Right. He was probably like, oh my God, is she okay? And then she jumps up and runs away. So he's like, oh, guess she's fine. Okay. She's on a mission. She must be okay. Yeah. So Miss Sunrise Dawn, thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. Yay. So glad to have you. Proud Cuptology. You're my Cuptology member. Love you, Mama Bear. Right back at you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love my Cubs. Incarnasoul, I'm impressed that the two of you are still together. Kudos to you for doing so. Often leaving calls separates people due to finding how different they actually are once control is relaxed. Absolutely 100%. And, I'll be honest, I've said this on stream before that we did have a short period of time. It was only like 3 months where we did separate about 8 years ago. And it was only 3 months. And we realized, I think it was a crisis of faith, but also a crisis of relationship. Like we were kind of pushed together. We really didn't have any other, people around much, but also, we had sown our oats, so to speak. So it's not like that was the only relationship we'd ever had. But yeah, I think that it was all the pressures of having the kids and leaving the call and having to, see them having a hard time transitioning into public schools after being homeschooled. Me start working full time. I started doing retail management. He was working 2 jobs. We were just really struggling. And yeah, we had to really decide, like, did we really love each other? Like, and I think our friendship is really what has kept us together. And you see, it's goofing around. It's pretty much, you can ask Kelly, like, we went to pick her up at the airport. And on the way back, we took this place. What is it called, honey? If you're in the chat, Peterson's Pass or something. It's this mountainous pass. And it's like the road is so skinny. And there's like a giant like drop off crevasse, as Duncan calls it. And he's just like Mr. Magoo in it, and I'm holding on to the old shit handle, and I'm like, oh my God, and then Kelly's like, are you okay, dear? And I'm white knuckling. So yeah, I mean, we are like old fuddy duddies. We've been married for almost 27 years, but yeah, a relationship, it's work, and sometimes it's really, really worth it. And sometimes it's the best thing to not stay together. So, and I think either thing is okay. I really do. So, Brenda, I have many questions on where this video comes from, why release now, and to what purpose, right? And how did Stephanie get a hold of it? That's what I want to know. But hey, thank you, Sister Stephanie. I'm glad she did. I'm glad for it, because just confirms what I thought all along anyways. George Massey from DJ Nico is it is the only kind of affection Steph knows, but she is the none the wiser. Get it? Yep. None your business, Stephanie. None the wiser. Frisia the dog. Hey there. If that was a man who kept trying to hold on to a woman, there would been a whole other situation. Even if the woman would be able to throw the man to the ground, people would have the right to defend themselves. Yeah. They'd be like, what a badass woman. Yeah. I mean, that would be my daughter. Because somebody was like, oh, that was your daughter. I'm like, listen, you haven't met her. Like, she's a scrapper. And she's not only 100 pounds, and she's gorgeous and a sweetheart, but she's also feisty. So I think it'd be the man laying on the ground, honestly. And Kelly can probably attest to that too. She's a pretty tough cookie. She really is. Jennifer Marie Joyce, in my opinion, this exonerates Aaron. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Staceveria. Fair use copyright disclaimer in Section 107, Copyright Act 1976. Allowances are made for fair use for the purpose of criticism and yes. Thank you so much. Hey, Gretchen, great to see you, friend. Whoever found this tape, the LA protesters need help getting Scientology security footage of the assault of the protesters. Good point. That is a good point. Yep. Ison comment, if she really was giving Aaron a hug like Brian claims, every time my ex landed his fist on my jaw, it was out of pure wish to help me get some blush on my cheeks. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. And next time I will think about doing a trigger warning, because yeah, this is a serious situation, and a lot of people have had those kinds of experiences, and it's really sad. Hey, Liz Gale, great to see you, honey. Liz Gale, do you think releasing this video had anything to do with Stephanie resigning from the board, or just a coincidence in timing? I mean, my opinion, I think it had a lot to do with her resigning from the board, because in my short interaction with Mike Rinder, he's out for blood. He wants Aaron to go down. And we all know that Stephanie is his biggest fan. And I think that even the wording that she used to resign, saying that her personal blog really wasn't compatible with being on the board, she admitted that. She admitted, and I've been saying that for months, and many of us have been saying that till we're blue in the face for months. Is that if you are on a board of directors, you really shouldn't be, especially if there's one that supposedly has a code of conduct clause where you can't criticize, right? So I think that, yeah, I don't know if she just got a hold of this video or not, but it was, oh, I better resign before I release this, because I don't want the Aftermath Foundation to take heat for this. But, oh, I got the smoking gun. They've been promising us the smoker, threatening Aaron, or promising Aaron this smoking gun moment. And it was just nothing burger, I think. So, but what do you guys think? What do you think, Liz, Gal? So glad you're here. So glad you're here, honey. The Flea Factory. Hey there. Someone said Jeffrey Augustine tried to get this video and CVS wouldn't release it. So how did Stephanie get it? This reeks of Scientology. Now, I'm not saying Stephanie's working with them, but quack, quack. Yeah. I don't know. For someone who was never in, she seems to know a lot about Scientology and how they operate, and maybe emulate some of it. But yeah, I'm the last one to be like, this one's OSA, that one's OSA, that one's what. Yeah, that's not my jam, but does make you go, things that make you go, that's one of them. Hey, Joel, hope you're feeling okay. Hope you're feeling better, friend. If this is the elephant in the room, I am 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I am so sick of this, but as my grandma said, some people's kids. Hey, Steph, you are delusional. Yeah. My mother said, my adopted mom said, some people's kids. Yep. Yep. I don't know, Sister Stephanie. Hey, Encarnasoul, admittedly, the pool of women willing to be in a down low side relationship with a married man who wants to keep it quiet is not filled with the most stable, upstanding women. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But lesson learned, and I think that things have worked out pretty darn good for AARON, and I'm really, really happy for him. I really am. So, and speaking of, Brenda said, this sad thing is Aaron seems to lately be changing his personal life for the better, but seems others continue to want to destroy him. Yeah, it's not working, is it? It's not working. But I hear you. TN Jenny, working, but I have to say that men can be victims of DV and SA and are afraid to call the cops because they're usually bigger than the woman, so are afraid of being accused and disbelieved. Yeah, absolutely. And I talked to my hubby about that. I was like, what would you do? And he's like, yeah, it's the rule. You're like, no, you know, that looks really, really bad. So yeah. Wallflower, hey there. Thanks for the super chat. Look at his legs. Aaron's never turns around. Impossible to throw someone's behind you. It was a dip and shake off maneuver. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like that. And yeah, he shook her off. And I don't know if she flung herself or she was just that. Because I mean, I'm not an expert, right, in this whole thing, but because she was already unstable with her feet because she had grabbed onto him and he flung her off, she fell backwards, or she did the LeBron flop, or I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, well, there you have it. Right. It's not a CVS video. Right. It couldn't be because they were standing in front of CVS and this was like a side view from across the intersection, across the street. So unless they have CVS has cameras on someone's building or on the signpost, it looks like maybe a traffic cam or something like that. Not sure. Janelle said, actually, about 75% of DV are engaged in mutual combat. It's more common than not. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There are cameras on the ice cream shop. So maybe they got it from there. Maybe they know somebody, knew somebody who knew somebody. Stasia said he was behind. She was behind him. He couldn't see her. Right. Yeah. 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 So what do you say? Let's see, we've been going for about an hour. I think we've said all we can say for now. And thank you so much for being here. Well, how about if we do a room raid? Who's live? Let's see who's live. Oh, just me? Wow. Okay. Boy, just me today. All right. Well, look up who's live. Somebody's probably coming on around 1:00. So we'll see. But great to see you all today. And let's get a couple more comments. Closing comments. Liz Gale, thanks for covering it, Marilyn. I don't know what to think of Sister Stephanie, but I do think that this video is helpful in knowing the truth of what happened. Aaron didn't lie, so there's that. Right. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that completely. And Sister Stephanie, I think she needs some help. I honestly do. So Amber says, comment, someone has a lot of time on their hands to get this video and start drama. Yeah. There you go, a year later, because I guess they don't really have anything in real time. They're kind of grasping at straws. Yeah. James Smith, thanks, Marilyn and Duncan, for providing a safe space to talk about this harassment. You're very welcome. And I'll be honest, guys. This is sometimes really exhausting. I do need to take breaks. I pick what I'm going to talk about because some things I'm just like, nah, not worth it, or not interested. None of my business, whatever. And then there's some things like things that happen in public, broad daylight, that affect the community. And I've gotten criticism, not just from trolls, people that I respect, that it's like, well, and I understand if people don't want to talk about it, but there's people that do. And I really do want to provide a safe space for certain times. And I'm here for the good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad. And I just do want to, I appreciate when people say that it's a safe space. And I do want a safe space to talk. I feel like it's like a living room. I always invite my kids to check in and see how they're doing. So, all right, guys, and girls and ladies and everyone in between and all over the place. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. See you next time. Bye. Zenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.
We don't know where we are looking. Whoa.